How often do we see dogs busting out of the door? They bust out of the car. They come out of the crate with exuberance. If you watch my videos, you know I'm always talking about leadership. Leadership and training your dog and setting an expectation and communicating in the way that that dog needs you to communicate. Well, I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate a few things that are really important in all of those areas, because thresholds are so important to make sure that you have control when you exit and enter activities. If you have a proper walk, it's best when you're going to a door to start with the dog already in a calm mindset. If you don't have that yet, you can still accomplish what I'm about to show you. So when I get to a door, I'm going to make her wait. I'm going to ask her to sit. Sit. So I want you to break it down like this, and slowly, when you start to calm your dog's brain at these thresholds, going where they want to go, entering where they want to enter, it's so important that they know that everything comes through you and a calm brain gets them what they want. So number one, I'm at the door, I'm going to open it. An open door does not mean she gets to just go. I want her to wait, and then when I start to walk, I don't say anything. I start moving and she follows. Now, that is leadership. When I'm walking and she's following, that's what I want, all right? And so when I walked in, she was in the same calm mindset when she got in there as she was when she was entering it. And one last thing, sit. Sit. It's very important that you don't say, okay, or let's go, because that jump starts the brain to go, all right? Again, I just want her to follow. Just like that. How often do you see dogs on the way to the car pulling their owner, scrambling to get in, and the owner barely gets the car door open and the dog busts inside? So it's really, really important. If you have a nice walk, watch my videos and learn how to do a nice walk. Walk the dog at your side with a loose line, and it's best to approach the vehicle or approach the threshold with a calm brain. So we're gonna walk. I'm gonna have her sit, sit. I open the door, I say sit to remind her, sit. Again, an open door does not mean you get to come through. You don't get to go until I tell you you can go, because everything good in life comes through me. That's leadership. So she's waiting, the open door is there. It couldn't look any better than this. I'm gonna let her go in. I use the word hup. You could say in, you could say whatever you want. Hup, come on, hup. And there we go, we have it. So I'm gonna help her little butt in. There we go. There you go. Make sure her tail's out of the way. Back, I'm gonna shut the door. I'm gonna let her out. People come to the business and they open the door and the dog busts out into the parking lot. Dangerous, could get hit by a car. I can count on one hand how many times I've had to race down the street trying to catch somebody's dog that was coming for training in the first place. So I'm gonna start saying back, because that's my command before I even open the door. Back, back. I make her wait. And then I can sit here and own the space, but I might just even be like this if I have confidence she's gonna stay. Now, see how she sat? That is surrender. Doesn't get any better than that. I would say back. I'm gonna clear my line. She's sweet as can be. Now, wait. Just because I got the line does not mean she gets to go. She doesn't get to go until I say my word, which is easy. Easy, easy. Just like that. When we're also talking about leadership, it is so important to know that every dog should be crate trained. Every dog should be able to be in a crate with a calm mind. They have to surrender to confinement. You never know when you might need to travel. The dog could have an injury. Plus, you need to have a crate to be able to block unwanted behavior. So, number one, I'm gonna ask Grace to go in. Come on, kennel. I use the word kennel. She doesn't go in, I'm gonna just use the leash. She's smelling it. Yep, kennel. Kennel. There we go. Now, if you'll notice, I just put that leash in there, and it's always good to have a tool. I've never done this with Grace. So it's always good to have a tool that you're gonna win. I let her in, she was smelling it. She's smelling the other dogs. She's smelling what the other dogs had in there. And then when I brought the leash in, there was tension on the neck, and that tension didn't go until she followed in. Now, you can put a toy in there. You could put a treat in there. This wasn't about luring her in. This was about getting her in the crate. That's just one way to do it. But now I'm gonna go ahead and bring her out. So again, how often is the dog calm in here until the human comes to open up the crate door and they bust out with excitement. We don't want that. We want them to enter into the area that you're inviting them with a calm mindset. This threshold is the crate. Back, I use the word back, back. I wait. See how she's being respectful? She happens to be wearing a leash. If she didn't, I just pat my leg. Actually, I'm just gonna do it. I could pat my leg to invite her out. But because I've actually never seen her do it in this, I'm gonna use the leash so I could control and create what I want if she did come out excited. I'm gonna say easy, come on. Come on. Just like that. Now it's so important when she comes out, there's no excitement, no good girl, no nothing. It should be a non-event. Another place that it's important to have a threshold, even though we're not going into something, this is all about the brain. It's all about the brain surrendering to waiting and allowing you to allow them to either have it or walk through it. This is leadership, all right? Everything good comes through you. They have to wait with a calm brain while you allow entrance, you allow feeding, whatever it might be. You allow exiting, whatever it might be. So now I'm going to set this down, but I want her to stay back. Often people will down the dog and then they will put the food down and then they will say break and release the dog to it. And I don't disagree with that at all. The only thing that I don't like about that is sometimes if you say break out of a down command, releasing to food, that break can become an explosion of excitement at the food. I would like to have the brain, and what that would be called is capping and loading. The dog's like loading for the food. He can't wait, and then boom, he's on it. I'd actually like the brain to be in a different mindset. I'd like it to be less. I'd like it to be more calm, okay? So I'm gonna do this with Grace. Come on, Grace. Back. I'm gonna put the food down. So when I have it right here, she has to be respectful, which clearly she's being, and I'm owning it. When I put it on the ground, she has to still stay back. I'm gonna own it there as well. She doesn't get it until I walk away. And when I do walk away, I'm not gonna say anything. Back. Back is the only word I'm gonna be using. Back. I want her to see, I made a little bit of body pressure, made her sit, which is surrender. I didn't say sit, but in essence of the brain surrendering, her body goes into a sit. Back. If she goes to get it, I'm gonna touch her in the body, which would be my bite if I was a dog. I'm gonna correct her and disagree with her coming forward because I'm still owning it. Back, 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 back. You may not see what I saw while I touched her because the brain went forward and she was all intent on the food. She looks at me, just what I want. And then I walk away and let her have it. For today's rough recap, you saw Grace learn to wait and ask to enter the doorway, the car, the crate, and even when it came to feeding. Leadership isn't what you do in pieces. It is who you are when you walk in the room. I heard it said, loving your dog is being a leader to your dog. And I absolutely 100% agree with that. Your dog will never be the dog you want him to be until you're the leader they need you to be. Have a great day. Till the next lesson, we just thank you so much for listening. We hope you gained some value. And again, your dog will never be what you want him to be until you're the leader they need you to be. And we just thank you for your time, and we'll see you next time.